guys, Commander, and welcome to another video on Control. Now, since the last episode, we basically we're basically called into this office and became the new director to this Central Bureau of Control, I think. And we basically found out there's this alien thing hiding out that is making all the directors go insane. And these group of people actually know about it, as it turns out. So we have basically got to try and uncover this mystery. Now, this board thing, as it's known, it's a big triangle looking thing by the looks of things. Is basically the leader behind this. So, can we talk to any of these guys and get their opinion on it? If I do this? That's cleansing the control point. So, I don't want to do that for the moment, because that's most probably reverting it back to what it was before. Saying that, though, a lot of these guys are still floating in the air like they were last episode, which is not that good. Maybe let's go have a talk to. Can we talk to Emily? No. Well, let's go into the shelter and see what happens. See what we can find. We might be able to find some stuff that's useful. What's this down here? Control points. Research control points. Research and records. Control points. Control points are locations that the Bureau has identified as being vital junctions of the oldest house. When the appropriate harmonization devices are arranged around the control point in the blank arrangement, the surrounding area will not experience any unforeseen building shifts. These control points are discovered by blank detection of an unobstructed ping using the blank within a 37-foot radius. Numerous researchers have attempted to define control points, calling them nerve junctures or blank or vulnerable spots of the oldest house. The common factor of these theories is that the control points are susceptible to external influence, which allows us to stabilize the oldest house and work more confidently inside it. Theoretically, this technology could be extrapolated to stabilize the oldest house as a whole. By testing has found that certain parts of the building refuse to be blank. Refer to the full report. Okay, again, do excuse my inability to read. I'm a nightmare when it comes to reading. What I would advise is if you want to read it yourself and you actually want to take a detail, like I know what I'm reading and I understand it, but it's hard to, I find it when I'm reading it back, I don't understand myself of what I'm reading. So these are the boards of all the directors. That's Trench, that's the most latest one. And then these are all the previous ones. So I assume they've all committed suicide beforehand, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. This is a control point here. What's this mean? What's this mean?
Come on.
So what was that? Was she...
It didn't work. The hiss has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
Okay, so was she trying to bring her back then? See if she can use her, like, powers of being a director to, see if she can use her powers of being a director to, like, bring people back from that area. Like, being entranced, maybe. Hello again.
I can't cleanse them. I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen. The Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing.
Probably taken by the hissing.
I think he knew this was coming, or suspected.
He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench. The ghost, or whatever he is. He mentioned something called the hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader.
I like the inner monologue that we're getting with these cutscenes,
Why
and
am I here?
the like we're getting
I
this,
think you
which is
already
like an
Yes,
inner
for
monologue
my
talking to
brother.
herself, but we're
There
getting
are
that in the
other
cutscenes
reasons
as
too.
well, which is telling us what
I
she's
said
thinking,
I
which I
was
think is quite
looking
nice.
for answers, but I might
I'll
never
stop talking now.
understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions.
Okay,
The door to the comms
that's good to know.
department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now. Follow the signs to the mailroom. You can get to the hotline containment chamber through there.
Okay,
Good luck,
Yes.
Jesse. See
Thank
you
you.
back here once you have the hotline.
all right.
Thanks, Emily.
What I want to do, we got some more collectibles. There's some research files. Oh, that's the portrait of director Zachariah Trench. So that's basically who's been contacted. He was the last one. He was the one who committed suicide because of this hiss thing that he found. Unknown caller. Emily instructs Jesse to find a hotline, an object of power in the form of an old telephone, to understand the messages from the dead director trying to communicate with her. They hope he can provide an insight into the hiss invasion. Okay. Right. Let's go. Now, I wonder if we're talking with the map. Okay, so that's where we've got to go. So, can we get to it by this little, teleportation control point, maybe? Fast travel? Can we go anywhere up here? No, we can only go to the central executive. Okay, that's fine. Let's plan out our route. I think it might be worthwhile if we go back to the director's office and then round, maybe? Unless we can go just directly up and then through that way. Let's try that. Let's go. Actually, can we get new outfits? Can we get new clothes? Outfits. Tactical response. Okay then, we'll stick that on. We'll try that. R4 reports reminder. Hello, as you all should know by now, the R4 reports are due by the end of the week. We are awaiting on them from a number of people. If you need an extension, please request form R4.E from your supervisor. If you think your attempt in filing for R4, if you think you're exempt from filing an R4, then you'll need to get written permission from your department chief saying so. Remember, R4s are mandatory under section 75.2 of the employee manual. If your R4 requires interdepartmental claims, then please contact the appropriate department head, Mr. Darling, Miss Marshall, Mr. Salvador, or Mr. Kirkland as needed. They'll be busy on Thursday in their annual policy review, so please schedule accordingly. Best your admin team. Okay. You can see how badly my reading is. It is beyond awful, but the best of times. Now, these things have got like... Okay, so we've got a weapon mod. Okay, this one's got a weapon modification in it. What's this one? Health recover. Enter to equip. Okay, let's stick that on. Weapon mods. What have we got in here? Scatter record efficiency. Weapon armor damage. Okay, click enter. There we go. Okay, we got some... What? I don't know what these assets are used for. Summary. The oldest house possesses certain limitations on our bureau, but by far the most restrictive is the inability to use certain technological instruments. The oldest house does not allow devices that receive or emit any, I assume that means radio signal. Radio waves are the only transmittable signals in the oldest house, and even those are often unreliable. If the weapon of collective unconscious is taken into account, it could be that certain pieces of technology are too new in the cultural for something for the oldest house to, I assume that is like, process them maybe? Similarly, these items have not been known to become receptacles for altered status. Technology may be moving at too fast a pace for something to occur. Modern technology tends to disappear and break here, sometimes quite violently. But something agents have been injured by cell phones exploding in their pockets whilst entering the oldest house. Okay, so I assume the oldest house is basically the bureau. Like, this is what the bureau call this building that they're stationed in, the oldest house. Listen, I know you can't control building shifts, but the executive level restroom has been missing for a few weeks now. I've worked my ass off in the Lamabad station for 3 years. I've earned the right to have a nice workplace shit. If you can't bring it back, at least find out where it went. God's sake. Oh dear. Never mind. That's amused me. That's brightened up my day actually. Dear. Right, what else can we find? Bureau expenditures. Major. Staffing, surveillance, blank, data center initiative, construction, something. Minus, office equipment, janitorial costs, something, mold removal, HQ, livability costs. Cost of breakdown spreadsheet here. Okay. And we've got some more like asset stuff over here. Okay, this is probably it actually.
There it is again. Our welcome message.
Okay, so on the right track. There's a lot. Can we get in here? No. Okay. That's noise because that was the board talking, so it's becoming a lot more like easier to hear. And I suppose those are the hiss infected guards. I can't shoot. There he goes, dead. Stop pressing R. CommanderPrime, you're a nuisance. Right, can I shoot you? There we go. Right, okay. So I'm up a bit higher. Oh, is it through here? Oh, maybe through here. Right, let's go. Uh-oh. What's that?
Overpowering.
Quickly, go. No? Did we go the wrong way? Did we do that? Was that actually not what we were meant to do? Oh, bugger. Go on, shot in the head. One more shot. Nice. There we go. Stop pressing R. Oh, we got more. No. Oh dear, get up. Get up. Get vantage point. There we go. Get the high ground. Go on, get down. There we go. Nice. Now, are these guys like maybe we'll... Oh, Hiss barrier. We've got research records. Hiss barrier. The Hiss reconnaissance, I think that says, resonance field is a physical impediment that is difficult to define. Hiss barriers appear as ways to impede escape or access by Bureau personnel. 2 methods have been discovered for lowering them. Destroying multiple concentrated resonance sources found in the vicinity. Destroy the Hiss entities in the area. The the resonance fields seem to require support for their size and density from other non-connected sources of Hiss resonance. Without the ability to draw from these sources, the barrier will fall. Does an inactive structure made of Hiss resonance qualify as a conscious being? Does the distinction make any difference when considering the Hiss? What does the very acting of building walls to prevent our movement tell us about the Hiss? To what degree is it watching and planning? Okay, so if we kill all of these Hiss that are up here, that barrier that's up the top should actually fall. And we should be able to walk in it. Now, I'm not going to do it now, because we haven't got time. We need to do stuff. Dead letters. Is that what all these guys are? These guys are all just dead letters. This guy's shielded. Alright, come on. You're not actually that hard to kill, actually. Come on, I got you. There we go. Got a bit more damage in me gun now. Go on. Yeah, there we go. Another one. Come on. There we go. Nope, recharge. Go on, get out of it. And... oh, come on, recharge. Oh, come on. It takes so long. There we go. Right. Cleanse control point. So what does this cleansing control point actually do then? Is that just a way to, like, return everything to normality then, maybe? So everything, like... so everything's in its abnormal state, and then you've got to cleanse the control point to get rid of the Hiss. And maybe that's what Trench was doing. So navigate through the communications department. There's an open door here. There's two open doors. That's the communications department. This is an office. Let's see if there's any more collectibles here. Introduction to paranormal topics.
8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes.
Oh, floppy disk.
Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Oh god, that was way before my time. Christ, that looks really old to me.
A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the
I've got like a terabyte SSD in my PC now. The fact of having a floppy disk with 2 megabytes on it is just ridiculous.
Dangerous energies to hone in on, and they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
Imagine that at the time that floppy disks had actually been created and were actually a thing, and people were thinking, oh god, we can actually store things on external drives as floppy disks. You know, this is what we're going to call them. Imagine that in like 20 years time, or maybe even more, I think it was, that we've got things like SSDs that can store things electronically. You know, it's really weird because like for me, like I'm 18 at the moment and I use technology stuff an awful lot. But like when I'm like in 20 years time for me, like when I'm like 28, 30, 40 time, I'm going to be in a position where like I can say, look back on SSDs and think, God, how we've come from there. You know, we're going to be storing things on like lightning. You know, we're going to be storing things on lightning bolts and stuff like that. Oh, I could have saved you. Who's chucking these canisters at you? I want to see if there's anything down here first. Oh, it's a shelter. Okay, we'll have a look in there. But yeah, so, and just looking at what I'm doing with that, the technology how far technology's come in Windows 10 is, the fact that I can do what I've done is ridiculously good. It's so cool. Anyway, correspondence, Book Club Samson, by L. Samson. So, I don't usually read a lot of sci-fi, but as far as space operas go, this was alright. The title, Unless You, could refer to a bunch of things in the book, I guess, but I thought it was a little vague and stupid. The way the characters kept throwing it around, almost like the catchphrase got real annoying real fast. The best part of the story was the space battles. Aside from within the Fixers, obviously because they had the coolest tech and their motives had made the most sense to me. Honestly, if I had to choose between some hooty tooty flowers and guns space hippies or a badass bunch of warriors who go around devouring plants like cheap sushi on a Sunday. I know who I'm picking. That scene where they invade city planets and convert the entire population using those brainworms, and that space dogfight between those two ace pilots. Sign me the F up. What kind of ruined the whole thing for me was when my favourite character got killed not even halfway through the story by getting a battery cylinder launched to his face by a gravitational anomaly. His death didn't feel necessary at all. That guy that just got that thing chucked at him. Like, is it just me? Are we seeing things that... Like, that's that guy. He had cylinders chucked at his face. Like, that's what I thought. So, when that, I was thinking, oh, who the hell chucked that at him? Why did he have to die? So, is that just me? Like, are we seeing things from the past? Like, seeing things again that have already happened that don't need to happen? I'm not going to go in there because that's going to kill me, I think.